I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, and I'm located in Southgate, Kentucky.
And I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery in Monroe, Washington. And welcome to Wheel Talk.
Hey folks, thanks for listening to Wheel Talk. We would love some more interaction with you all throughout this future episodes, and we would love to hear some listener questions. They may get on the episode.
Yeah, just submit them to wheeltalkpodcast@gmail.com, or you can submit them on our Instagram at wheeltalkpodcast. Thanks.
Got it.
Got it. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Becca.
How you doing?
Not bad. We're totally going to do some kind of stickers or graphics or something with these quotes.
We have so many things that we just say.
Yes.
Quotable quotes by Becca and Ryan.
Yeah. Just start the brainstorming, and we were like, I just started sending Becca stuff the other day. I was like, this sounds great. Let's do that.
All the quotable quotes, and then we can put them on a sticker or a button. I think it'd be fun on a button, like a.
I don't wear buttons though. What would you put on a button?
A lot of people wear buttons.
Do they?
Yeah, like or put them on their backpack or something.
Like an enamel pin.
Yes, that's what I meant. An enamel pin. A pin.
I was thinking of Alon transfers, like enamel pins.
Dude, she's freaking genius.
We're going to talk to her at some point, someday.
Someday. Yes, we will. Okay, so how was your day today?
So I was late as hell to talking to you because work has been busy. I've actually been like more heads down and actually focusing on work more, which sounds weird because I should be doing that on a daily basis, but I've actually been like trying to be less distracted this week.
Right.
So been a lot more productive, I think. And yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. I'm not doing an update this week, I don't think. I'm doing like a informal kind of demo thing for Covington Farmers Market, which is near me, that I can't.
Are they opening?
Well, the farmers market has been open for the last 3 weeks, I think. Actually, I don't even think they ever closed because they were farmers market and they were doing some like takeaway kind of things and ways for people to
like a drive-through farmers market.
Yeah. So they actually started opening up like 3 weeks ago for people to actually walk the market, and they've been doing like super precautionary things with like hand washing stations and drawing things on the ground so that they're like 6 feet apart and you're not getting so close to people and the vendors and stuff like that. So yeah, so I'm doing like an informal demo on their Facebook page on Saturday morning for a couple hours. So I'm gonna like show myself throwing some planters and maybe putting some holes and stamping them and maybe glazing and stuff like that. So that's kind of what my focus is this week. I'm not doing a restock for the first time in 6 weeks, I think. Mystery boxes wore me out.
The mystery boxes were good, man.
Yeah.
You probably got enough to buy yourself a kiln.
I probably did. You're not going to live this down. You're going to hear this every single episode. Becca's going to sneak in a comment until it happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you? How's your day going?
My day? Well, my week has been pretty good. I have been doing the opposite and trying to do as little as possible. No, I'm kidding. Kind of. I'm interested in my van and kind of like tearing it apart and putting in insulation and building things for it. So, I'm trying to put the least amount of money in it as possible because I know that it's going to die soon. So, but just enough to make it like, manageable for shows and stuff. Just throw in some plywood and stuff like that. So, I'm excited about that.
Did you get a date yet for Leavenworth?
No, I mean, kind of. We got June 6th, but that's depending on whether the governor opens up or not.
Okay.
And he's been really like covert about it, and it's been fucking ridiculous. So
Yeah, it's pretty aggravating when you're not sure what you don't know if everything's just going to get pushed back and pushed back and pushed back.
Yeah. It'd be like one thing if he was like, we're going to do it at, like, for sure we're opening it up. But he, like, pushed it back and was like, on the condition that we haven't had anybody die, basically, you know? Which, of course, nobody should die. But, you know, it's just, like, very conditional, which is kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
But, oh, fun things. I got an Isaac Shoe mug this week. On Sunday, he had an update, and I've never, in my life, Ryan, I've never, like, looked at an item and was like, that's $85. I'm gonna buy that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I totally did that, and it's the most amazing mug I've ever
It's so
seen
detailed. It's like
in my life.
It's like, okay, there's Sgraffito on it, there's decals on it, there's sanded bottom, there's
It's
whatever.
insane. Yeah. It's insane. It's like pressed in and like, oh my god, it's the most detailed mug. And I think that he still has pieces for sale that didn't sell in that sale. And I'm like, people are retarded. That was politically incorrect. People are... Now I can't say anything, actually.
You can't
Good
say
job,
stupid?
Becca. No, because then that equivalent's retarded with stupid. And anyway, moving on.
All right.
Moving
so
on.
You got a
Becca's
nice mug
blunder.
that you spent $85 on.
I did.
You were gonna buy a Tom Coleman T-Bowl at Claycon West for about that much, I think.
Actually, I did buy that, but I struggled with that purchase.
Was that like the same? Was it like
yeah,
$90
it was
or something?
$95, and I like had to convince myself to buy that one with Isaac Shoes. I was like, nah, I'm not. I don't care.
But was it any different because you were physically there buying the Tom Coleman one? You could feel it. You knew exactly what to expect because you were right there.
Yeah.
Was it different and a harder purchase with Isaac Shoe, or you feel like you got a deal for $85?
I feel like I got a freaking deal for $85. Like, compared to Tom Coleman's mug, yeah, I mean, like, Tom Coleman's, like, the glaze is, like, cool and stuff. But, like, that's, like, Tom Coleman.
The
That's,
kiln
like,
did
my
all the
mugs.
work for that.
Yeah, like, he glazed it. Obviously, he glazed it. But, like, he's been glazing. Like, every single other mug was that cool, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that didn't take him very long to do. You can tell that Isaac Shoes mug took him, like, a while. Only because he had to at least do stuff. I hope you're making some sort of stamps to make that faster, by the way. But it's bomb. Like, it's totally cool. And you can see all the work. And it's, like, super detailed. And it's like color threw up on the mug, too. You know? It's not, like, boring. You could find something new every time you look at it. And you would think that buying it from online would be hard. And be like, I don't know if I want to purchase this. But that was not the case.
Nice.
I was like, nah, I'm going to do it. I, like, thought about it a couple days before. And I was like, I don't really like mugs all that much. But when you put them up and I saw the one that I wanted, I was like, oh, that's a piece of cake purchase.
You're like, I'm getting that.
So anyway, go follow Isaac Shoe.
How do you spell that?
Go buy his shit. SHUE. ISAAC I think. Yes.
I was looking at reviews and I can't remember the last one we read.
Oh. There's
I think I know which one we read last, but
I can't remember. We read the one, it's like the third down that we read last.
okay. Do we want to read one while I'm talking about it? And we might as
Sure.
well. Okay, so this one was a review on Apple Podcasts from Kylie FM. It is titled "Favorite Pottery Podcast!" ! I've been listening from the beginning, and it has been such an informative and entertaining podcast. I don't make pottery to sell right now, but I do hope in the future. I hope to in the future, and all the tidbits I've gathered here will be so helpful.
That's my cat's name.
Tidbit. Becca and Ryan go over their real numbers, which is super refreshing. This podcast is perfect mix of humor and information, and I'm excited to see where it will go. Also, shout out to them for putting together the winter pot swap. That's a huge, awesome undertaking. Thanks so much.
That's going to be even more important this year, the pot swap. We're screwed.
How so? Because it's going to be so big.
Yeah. People are going to be so shut in from all of this whole thing.
Gosh.
And then, yeah.
We're going to need we're all assemble a team. Pot swap team assemble.
Yes, well, we've got 2 people for sure, hopefully.
Yeah.
That volunteered last year. And then, yeah, cool. Okay, so, what are we talking about today? I'm
say,
introducing the topic.
To say what it is because you came up with the topic for.
I did
for
come
this
up
one.
with the topic. Because he comes up with the most of the topics, and I was trying really hard to contribute. Okay, so the topic this week is, social media and how sometimes we live by social media versus using social media as a tool and not necessarily letting it get to us. Like, when you start out with Instagram and stuff, you're always checking the Instagram and being like, how many likes did I get on my post? Or whatever.
Yeah.
How many followers do I have?
Feeling like social media is your barometer for success, or whether you're doing something right or doing something wrong, or
which is not true, because I can't tell you how many successful potters and people I know that have 0 social media accounts. So we'll just get that out of the way. But I've read a few things kind of being like, I'm really discouraged because nobody's liking my posts. And I was just thinking about how that should not really determine your discouragedness, I guess.
Don't get discouraged.
Yeah. Like, who cares if people are liking your posts? I guess it is validating at a point, but it doesn't mean that you're any better or less good at what you do,
And you can only control certain variables there. You can control what you put out. You can control what you write in your caption, your hashtags, whether you're engaging with people when they actually reply to you or comment on your stuff. You can control all that. You can't control who is liking your stuff and what they're going to say to your post, all that stuff, whether they're going to follow you or not. Like asking somebody to follow for follow, I'll follow you if you follow me, kind of like that's only going to go so far. Yeah.
And, it's just because you may have amazing things doesn't mean people are going to follow you. And just because you have, and people that have totally terrible products, people might follow them like crazy. Like there's some people that are famous on Instagram that have horrible stuff. Like, and I'm not naming names. I'm not saying anyone in particular.
And what's horrible to you may be either
what's horrible to you
horrible
may not be,
or something you just do not like.
Right. Like clearly there's a reason why that person is Instagram famous or whatever, but that doesn't mean that they're any better than you are or any worse than you are.
Yeah.
So.
And not everybody likes the same thing. You can't expect everyone to like your stuff.
True.
There's billions of people that use Instagram or Facebook or whatever. So you don't have to get everybody to like your stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're catering to what other people like rather than what you like and what you want to put out and what represents you the best, then you're not going to get what you're looking for. I would say you're Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I also feel like me and you are a good example of this, only because you have 18,000 followers, which is a frick ton.
Woo woo.
Woo woo.
I'm proud of the 18,000. I don't have to feel bad about it.
Yeah. P.S. You can be proud of it. 18.1 actually.
I saw the 0.1 a couple days ago. I was pretty happy.
Yeah.
Forever.
And I have had. Oh, I went up 1,000 followers since last year. I have 4,883. And that has taken me 5 years to do. I think. I don't care about my Instagram as much as
I do.
Ryan does. You know, and he works a lot harder on it, but that doesn't mean that I am any less successful than him. And in fact, we've compared numbers, and I made more money than him last year. Well, I didn't make more money, actually. I sold more items than him last year.
Yes.
But I try to keep my profit low so that I don't have to pay taxes. So
I'll have to pay the tax man here any minute now, actually.
yeah, I paid very little taxes this year, and I'm okay with that. But so I was just going to say that I was going to ask you, do you remember the time, like the moment, or like when you were just like, I don't really care anymore? Does that make sense? Like,
care anymore about what I'm posting, or
no, not like I don't care anymore what I'm posting, but like not checking it every second to see if somebody had liked a post.
I wouldn't say it's a specific moment, but I would say at some point you're diminishing the time invested into being on Instagram and scrolling or looking at numbers and all that is detrimental at some point if you can't keep up. You know, let's say people are engaging a lot and you can't keep up with comments. You can't reply to every single comment. At some point, it's going to be detrimental to the time that you could be spending doing other things. So I would say that's the time when I started like determining how much time I'm going to invest into Instagram on a daily basis or whatever. And maybe that was when I started putting reminders on my phone to say, you know, Instagram, remind me when I hit an hour and a half on Instagram so that I stop being on here so damn long, because I know it's detrimental to a point. You know, that hour and a half is spent taking away from my day job that I should be working, the time I could be working in the studio, time I could be going out walking in the neighborhood or something like that. Like, there's other things that I could be doing that are better to my health or whatever, or business that, you know, I mean, I don't think I could live on 10 minutes a day on Instagram. Like, it would be detrimental to my business at that point if I was only spending 10 minutes a day on it.
Right.
So finding that balance of how much time am I actually spending on it and what am I getting out of it?
Yeah.
Do you feel like there was a point for you that, or there
Yeah,
was something that flipped that switch for you that you decided?
I think it was somewhere. Oh, I think what happened, because at the very beginning of Instagram, like I was like so set on having a fair amount of followers, you know, because I felt like that meant that like guaranteed a little, like some source of income for me, you know? And, so I would like, I used this service that would like go in and like other people's posts.
Mm-hmm. It would automate, kind of like a bot.
Yeah, it's like a bot, and you basically they're like paying for likes, and then I stopped doing that, and but I like hit a plateau. I think it was like 2,700 followers or something, or maybe 3,100 followers, and it didn't change for a whole year. I literally had the same amount of followers for an entire year.
You're talking about when you stopped the automated bot thing?
Kind of, but just like around that time, it was like everything was stagnant and it was just a plateau. And at that moment, I was like, this is so dumb. Like, why am I working so hard at this? And like, I could just focus my effort. I actually focused it more on Facebook, but like, I could just focus it more on, you know, making pottery and like selling that pottery in other ways. And it doesn't have to be on Instagram. Like now I don't even barely post sales on Instagram.
And if you do, it's very special and people buy stuff because it's very rare.
Yeah, good luck if you get a flash sale on Instagram. That's only for Facebook. But it just like kind of turned a switch and I was like, screw this, I don't care. And also the difference between me and Ryan is that Ryan is so good at communicating with people and like responding to people, and he'll go on people's like posts and comment. I will not do that. And It's like the
Do you comment back on your
part of
own
me.
posts if somebody says something, or do you not read comments on your own posts if somebody like asks a question or gives you
If somebody asked a
encouragement or
question, I
something
would.
like that?
Yeah, if somebody asked a question, I would totally comment on that. If somebody was like, "Wow, this is really great," I feel absolutely ridiculous saying like, "Thanks." I'm like, "Why?" And so I just push the heart button.
That shows it. That shows that you at least acknowledge it.
Yes,
This.
I saw this heart. And I realize that like there's the specific people that are more successful with followers. Every time I talk to them on, first of all, if I like message somebody that's super famous or like super Instagram famous, I never expect a response. If I get a response, I'm like, sweet, but I don't really expect one. They almost always respond. And
Yeah.
and not only that, but they always heart every single comment. Like
They're showing acknowledgement. They're doing at least the minimum. But
they're showing acknowledgement and then they're commenting, and I'm like, that's a lot. Like, I don't do that at all. I would never. It's just not in my nature to heart every single thing. And I have a number of friends that do that, and a number of people on the Instagram that does that, and I'm just not that type of person. I feel like it's like almost too much.
yeah.
But that's just me.
Sometimes I'll do that. It's kind of like a checklist for me a little bit. Like, I've acknowledged
Which
it.
one did I read?
And then, like, reply. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would say, just like you were saying, some people don't put in all that effort. I would say if customers or if just random people on the internet don't expect that, just like you said, then it almost feels special that they do say something and reply with
Totally.
something thoughtful.
Oh, yeah, totally. I'm not saying it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't do it.
I'm like planting seeds all over the place of like thoughtfulness and like thank yous and all that stuff all around
Right.
whenever people engage with me. So I feel like that's going to go a long way over time.
Yeah, you do a really good job at that. Like, and I think that I just cannot emotionally handle it.
Because there's
Like-
just so many balls in the air to keep track
Yeah.
of and to respond to and distract you. And
And also I just don't like being that fake all the time.
it's not fake.
No, it's not for you.
It's more of a chore for you to do that. You don't see
Yeah.
you don't see the value in on your side and on their side to get a response or to say something or
Yeah. In real life, though, not a chore at all. Like, if somebody was talking to me face to face, it's like piece of cake. But I guess that in the back of my mind, I'm like, do they really mean what they said? Because they're just typing, you know?
because it's digital. You're wondering if they actually yeah.
I'm just really bad at lying, and so I'm not good at lying on the interwebs either.
Yeah. I mean, there's some stuff where you get a comment or a question or something and it's like, you know, you can reply with an actual detailed answer to give them all they want in that one reply. So you kind of take care of it and you give them more than they expect. They expect like, hey, what glaze are you using? Like, they don't expect me to call out and say, this is the glaze it is. You can DM me for the recipe. If I say that, like, they're not expecting that. They're like, oh shit. Like, oh, really? Okay.
I do that. I think it's mostly the
like encouragement stuff that you're not going to reply to. Yeah. At some point it is getting hard to keep up with. So I try to at least heart the comment to show that I've acknowledged it.
When you wake up in the morning, how many people comment on, like, how many people send you a message? Like, if
I might have at least 5 in the morning. But I also zero out my inbox almost every single day. So
I have 10.
you have 10?
Yeah.
Is that in people that you've already engaged with? That
Yeah, probably like
that
a revolving.
it's not a new request.
Yeah, not necessarily a new request. It's just like 10 people have commented on something that I've done, or like messaged me on a story or something.
Oh, I thought you meant just message. If it's a message and comments, it might be 10.
Yeah.
But what are they commenting on of your stuff if you don't post frequently enough? I feel like your stuff would be engagement on your stories if they were
That's what it
doing
is.
anything. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, well, I feel like we kind of got off topic.
But when you were talking about the kind of gamifying it a little bit and trying to trick it,
Yeah.
I was kind of relating that to the kiln talk we had in our old episode about kiln stuff, where you were like, Ryan, if you just keep fighting it, it's too much work than just getting something that works. So
Yeah.
from that, if we're loosely going to relate it to that, I would say be authentic and do what you like and share and be genuine with people. If you try to fake it too much and you try to game the system and you try to buy likes and you got to do the follow for follow, you got to keep up with everything, it just becomes unmanageable, and you're trying all these different things to Frankenstein together a follower base or I'm trying to, what's an appearance online or whatever that you're trying to hold up, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I think that's why my growth is so little, because when I do respond, it is genuine, but I guess I'm just a little bit more picky about my response. Maybe I'm picky about my responses. Like, I'm not saying that I'm not nice. Of course I'm nice. Most of the people that I talk to on the interwebs think I'm nice, and I give as many secrets away as I can. But but I'm just less apt to like go that extra step that you are more apt to do, because that's who you are. Like that's your comfort level, and that's not my comfort level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So and our numbers kind of dictate that. But I am comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with my numbers not being 10,000 people. In fact, that kind of scares the crap out of me. So, and so I think that that's kind of important to like find out who, like you said, find out who you are and how you can manage and what is your comfort level.
Yeah. I mean, you see it as like a chore if you were to have 10,000 people, but would that just be more people that you are familiar with that are back and forth with you, that you're building a relationship with, even if it's social only, that you're kind of fostering, and you're, when somebody shares something about their cat or whatever, I'll reply to them and say like, oh, that was kind of funny or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get a quick reply, even though if it's just like a sentence or whatever, like, yeah, they were really agitated today or whatever, then you're kind of like building that relationship just a little bit at a time, so you got something to work off of.
Yeah, I think that it scares me to have so many people of that, because typically I'm one of those smaller crowd, deeper relationship type people instead of a larger crowd.
Very narrow relationship.
Narrow relationship, yeah. So that like right now, I'm very comfy. I have you and Heidi and Rebecca and Josh, and we talk to each other on a regular basis. And like, at least as far as Clay people go. And then I have a few other people too, that aren't like Clay people necessarily, or they are, but I have a smaller group that I like communicate on a pretty daily basis. And that is comfortable for me. Right.
And it's manageable, and there's not like an obligation for you to, do a lot of work that you're not comfortable with.
Right. And I also think that like subconsciously I'm a fairly competitive person. So I fight with being genuine and being competitive. On the social media standpoint. So like, I have like made it a point to be like, I don't care about the numbers, and I've like I've had to work on that, like really work on it, be like, this is not my main priority. But that doesn't mean that like when I wake up and there's like 10 messages, I'm like, hey, that's cool. But then like we get down to it and I'm like, I don't feel like I can really communicate, especially at 9 a.m. when I like wake up, and I'm like, okay, but I'm comfy with where I'm at right now. Like the 10 people popping up and saying things are usually people that I communicate with on a fairly regular basis,
Yeah.
I don't know if that made any sense or not.
It was a little bit unclear, but I think I got the gist.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, and also you put more effort into Facebook.
I do.
Why is Facebook different? Whether it's Clay Buddies that you're participating in or other avenues, how do you communicate differently there?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because you say you don't see the value in Instagram, but you obviously
No,
invest
I
in
see the
Facebook
value in
differently.
I see the value of Instagram, but I just haven't made it my number one priority, I suppose. I don't know.
What's your majority of the engagement that you do on Facebook? I mean, I have ideas. You reply to Clay Buddies. Why do you reply to Clay Buddies stuff? Why do you follow Clay Buddies and like scroll through people's things? And do you want to be like a teacher in that sense and like troubleshoot?
I think it's more of like a teacher, and it's like a problem solving situation, which I enjoy. It's not just like, hey, look what I made.
And it's not for your business. It's more fun.
Yeah, it's not.
To
it's
help
not
people
for my
solve
business.
problems.
Right. Yeah, I actually really enjoy the fact that on Clay Buddies I can go on and they say like don't say your business name, like no advertising. I like really enjoy that part. It allows me to like be in the Clay community without having to give all of my backstory and information,
Yeah.
I guess it just kind of like they judge you on what you're teaching and your talent as opposed to your pieces. Because a lot of the people on Clay Buddies are like, can I see the end result of this piece? I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't got one. And they just like take you for what you're doing right then,
Yeah. But does that level out does it legitimize or delegitimize certain people's comments because you can't really see where they're coming from and what?
Sometimes
it's hard to filter through some of the comments that are harder to get value out of.
Oh yeah, totally. And I think Clay Buddies is a total freaking mess most of the time. I mean, it's especially if you comment on it and like if somebody says anything about a kiln or whatever. There's a billion different answers, and there's not just like can't we just agree on something, guys? But yeah, I don't know. And then as far as like flash sales and stuff, those people are mostly in my own community. They follow my Facebook to get updates on the shop and they live inside Monroe or in Washington usually, and so it's more like local, and I think that's Instagram is so far away, it's so like very few local people actually follow me on Instagram. And so a lot of it's so local is Facebook, and I only have like 2,000 people that follow me on Facebook. It's not very many.
Only 2,000? That's a lot.
Well, you have
like
18,000 people on Instagram. It's just
know,
where you.
But the way, I don't know. I guess it just depends on it. Because the way I look at Instagram, there's 18,000, but the further away they get from when they follow me and how much they engage with me is going to depend on how many people are actively following me.
Same thing with Facebook, I think.
Versus more stagnant. I don't know. Maybe because there's...
Are Facebook likes more valuable, Ryan?
Well, no, I was thinking like the followers on Facebook, because I feel like it's harder to get followers to your business page on Facebook because it is a business page on Facebook. So like they're going out to see a business page.
Yeah. It's not like, hey, I'm looking at your fun little pictures. Because, Instagram is literally a picture album. It's a gallery of pictures, of your pictures.
Very visual platform, so...
Facebook is not a gallery of pictures. Facebook is a gallery of information.
Yeah.
And pictures. Because, like, you can put videos, You can just put words up. You can put pictures up. You can. It's a lot more geared towards selling, and Instagram isn't geared towards selling. That's what I think. Facebook business is geared towards selling, and Instagram isn't as much, like on surface level.
I don't know. I see the Facebook business page as like the website light.
Yes. Oh, yes. It is the website light for sure.
So,
yeah,
it gives you someplace to share stuff in a chronological order, or when things are relevant. And then if people want to go to your different calls to action to shop or to see your website or whatever, to message you, they can do all of that. So.
Yeah. Well, I don't post anything different on Facebook that I do on Instagram.
I always start at Instagram. Instagram is my base for everything. I start on Instagram and I just cross post to Facebook.
Right. So
the only thing different on my Facebook is just I add additional Facebook events that are, let's say it's an art show coming up, and I'll take that art show that they've already created and I'll add that to my page, so it kind of gives a little snapshot of my upcoming events in person. That's really the only thing that's different on my Facebook page than my Instagram. So.
You know what I think about is different than on Facebook and Instagram? The sharing. Sharing is so much easier on Facebook than it is on Instagram. Because if I do a sale on Facebook and I say share this and you'll get a pinch pot or whatever, all they have to do is click share.
Yeah. And you can actually trace it too. You can see that share. You can trace it
easily. Right. On Instagram, you have to go through a little bit more hoops. Yes, you can share it on your stories, but like sharing it in your actual...
I mean, you could do something similar on Instagram, though. There's 3 buttons. There's a like, there's a comment, and then there's a share. So you would hit share, and then you would choose who you wanted to send it to.
Yeah, but you can only send it to your story. Putting it on to... So
you can type somebody's name in there and send it to them through message.
Yeah, but what does that matter? Like,
it's the same thing as sharing on your... It's the same thing
not.
as sharing on Facebook. You would type somebody's name in and direct message them. Or you're talking about people like sharing on their own feed.
Sharing on their own feed. Because Facebook isn't a gallery of your pictures. Instagram is a gallery of your pictures. So like your page on Instagram should be your content, right? Facebook isn't necessarily only your content. It could be anybody's content. Right. You're just sharing information. And that's true. That's the difference.
That's true.
That's it. And I've had a lot of people... The reason that my base, I suppose, has grown is not because of me. It's not because...
It's not because you're putting more effort and more work into Facebook. Right. It's just the way that you've structured it. People are likely to share because there's incentive to share.
Yeah. And I mean, okay, yes, I do the flash sales are only on Facebook, not on Instagram. So that is a difference. But that's because of the whole sharing situation. So... and I say, please share this. And when you share it, usually people go over and they're like, oh, this is cool shit. I'm going to like this page. And I think that's like, you get one post and and you give an incentive to share it, like a free pinch pot. That post will be shared 40 to 50 times. That's a lot.
Yeah. And those Facebook numbers add up.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, it doesn't matter how little or how much it's been shared. It matters if you've sold your stuff or not.
Right.
What's your objective, right? If your objective on Instagram is to get as many people as possible, but not sell anything, then there's that, right? But if your objective on Instagram is to sell stuff, and if you can do that without getting as many people as possible, then who cares, right?
Yeah, if you have a deeper number of, if you have a more in-depth relationship with fewer people, but they're still willing to buy your stuff.
Yeah.
You can make just as much money as if you had, let's say you had 1,000 people that really loved your stuff and 600 people were willing to buy it. If you had 20,000 people and you only needed 600 people, maybe you have less of a connection with those people, but getting 600 might be hard to get them to buy into your stuff.
Now, of course, the best of both worlds is if you have 18,000 people and you have a good, like, rapport and you are interacting with most of them. You know, like, my best friend Andrew has an account. And for the longest time, I don't think that's now, but for the longest time, he had 10,000 followers, but, like, none of them did anything on the account. Like, none of them interacted. You know?
It was very stagnant, and you just kind of liked photos or saw them come through, but didn't actually take actionable steps on the account.
Right. And, like, for you, I would imagine, for you, like, if you posted up a story, like, go to your stories and see how many people, like, one of the ones from yesterday, see how many people, like, responded to it. And I'll see how many people responded on mine. Or saw them,
so
I guess.
We're doing saw them, because that would be different. Stories. So if we're looking at...
Go to your first one from yesterday. Like the first one in the queue of your stories.
Okay.
How many eyes have seen
Well,
it?
since 24 hours ago, 384 people saw the one that's within the last... Well, hold on. Yeah, we'll say that.
I don't know how many. Hold on. Oh, 22 hours ago on mine, the one that we shared on Wheel Talk, 275 people have seen it.
Or yeah, on my... Oh, that just went away. Mine said 375 on that same story.
Oh, that's good, because we shared it right at the same time. So he's about 100 more than me.
Yeah, 379 now.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say the cross-posting of Wheel Talk and all that is just widening our impact of people that we can reach.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, so, like, Andrew, a long time ago, like I said, this is not now, this was at the beginning, he would have a story like that, and he'd have 10,000 followers, and he would have, like, 100 people see it. You know? So, it matters... I think it matters if you are genuine with your peeps.
Right.
You know? And they can tell. They can tell if it's... I think that people can tell if it's just for the numbers, you know?
Yeah. And pick and choose, like, when you want to post stuff and what you want to post. Because if on your stories you always ramble, or you're kind of like, you don't really know and you're dragging it out, or you don't really have a point to it, like, people might pass that over and not really want to engage with it.
Yeah, but first pick and choose if that's what you want.
Yeah. If you're not a stories person, you hate, like, talking into a camera or sharing stuff from your day, or
don't do that.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. That's just, you know, there's certain people's stories that you watch that you're like, I love watching their stories all the time. And this might be a good time to mention Heidi's 5 things to be happy about today.
God.
Since
favorite thing in the whole world.
Since we've been doing she's been doing quarantine stuff.
Heidi Fehrenbacher, her Instagram is at Bella Joy Pottery.
Yes.
That's Bella.
Yeah, so since the quarantine started, she started doing these 5 things to be happy about. And it's from this book that she has it's 14 things to be happy about. So she
14,000 things.
14,000 things. And she just picks out 5 random ones. And you see, like, her genuine reaction whenever she reads it. Whether it's like, oh, yeah, those are good. Or like, what the heck is that?
It's so funny. It's like, Heidi, we love you. It is so funny the way that she responds. And I genuinely love her even more since this has started happening. And the best part about the stories is that at the very beginning, she could not figure out how to make them go in order.
So she would put the captions on there with, like, number 1, bird watching, but that would be like the 5th story. Yeah. So it's actually the number 1.
Yeah, it would be like, she'd start at number 3 and then go to number 5 and then go to number 1 and go to number 2. It was so funny. And you helped her, I guess, but I don't know. She finally figured it out.
What happened, but she got it figured out somehow.
But Yeah, I don't know. It would be curious to see how she has like who has been responding to that and how that has impacted her negatively or positively. Um I doubt it has affected her negatively, but um it's I know for sure it's been a joy for me and you and a couple other people I know for sure. It's just like the best part of the day.
Yeah, it's been funny.
The best
So
part of my day is listening to that.
so there's some people that you're like, oh, I just love their stories. Or another
Yeah.
person I follow is Swell Ceramics. She goes to the beach, I think, every single day.
She must live
But-
by the beach.
And she lives in OXB.
Cali?
Is it OXB? Nags Head, North Carolina or something like that.
Oh.
And she goes to the beach with her dog every day. So, like, it's nice to see the stories of what she's working on in the studio, or you're going to see a beach view of somebody on the beach and you see the waves and stuff every day. So that's kind of
And
nice.
like you update everybody on what you did that day.
Yeah.
I think
And
that people love that.
I hope so.
But-
I don't know. I hear people
Well,
that
you have
say like they get
18,000 followers.
that they like get inspiration from it, or like get to see the nooks and crannies of like what I'm doing or whatever.
Or they get pissed and all like they're like, that's like he's doing so good and I'm gonna beat that. Like they get really competitive.
Maybe, yeah. Or I kind of use it as I'm documenting my day, so it keeps me accountable that somebody's
Yeah.
gonna want to see what I got done. Whether they, I don't know, want to see it, I don't know if that's the right words, but people are going to expect that I'm going to give an update on what I did that day. And then it's like feeling like I need to do something so that I have something to show. If I'm not doing enough in the studio, then I don't have much to show, and it feels kind of like, I didn't really do much.
You feel like a failure.
So there's that, and then there's like, I want to show people how many hours I'm actually spending on doing this thing.
Which is a lot.
How many hours am I in the studio? I don't show anything during the day while I'm working. Normally, I'll like reshare stuff and whatever, but I don't usually show anybody anything of what I do during the day for my day job. So I'm like, everything I'm sharing is everything after hours, and I'll put the timestamp on there so you see what time I'm doing this, what time I'm sharing it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like what my intention is with the stories, so that I can just get people a glimpse into what's going on in my home studio or what I'm up to or whatever.
And see, if I was to do that, if I was to outline what I did every day, I'd feel like a failure. Because I feel like I just don't do enough every day. And so you have to pick and choose. That's why we're talking about this. You have to pick and choose.
But are there things that you are doing that could be documented, whether it's ceramics or not?
No.
Like, hey, my damn cat pissed all over my couch, so I gotta clean my couch now.
I did do that. I did.
So I just think it's like you get a little bit deeper sense of the person.
Oh, totally. Like, I definitely think stories are like the best thing ever for Instagram. It shows a little bit of who you are.
Yeah.
Well, it can. It also cannot show a little bit of who you are.
Yeah. Depends on what you want to share.
Yeah.
And then there are people that I'll just like their feeds, like their images that they post, like Pitch Pine Pottery. I really love her stuff, and like every picture is very put together and like just perfect for her grid and stuff. So they're or there's people that I follow that have really good captions that I love reading their captions and what they're explaining or whatever.
Yeah. I think that when I stopped worrying about my numbers and like worrying about how Instagram is like growing and stuff for me, I stopped scrolling through Instagram. And also when Instagram stories started, because I like like I said, I like the personal aspect of it. And so I just go through stories, and I almost never scroll down through pictures because I feel like the pictures are kind of like fake.
That's the fake side of it, and then the stories are the real side of it.
Kinda, yeah. And it's like, I don't, part of me, this is so bad. Part of me is like, I don't care what you made. I like, I don't care. Like, I just want to know who you are and if you're a nice person or not. And, like, seeing the stuff that you made is great. And I like seeing it through the stories.
How did you find out about Isaac Chu's sale, for instance? Did you see photos of his stories? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And then once I got to the story and I saw it, then I went to his page and was like, oh, hey, he's making bowls. And like, so I pretty much will never find anything from scrolling. I will mostly find it from stories, and then I'll go to that. And, but yeah, and I've also unfollowed a lot of people that make me feel self-conscious, and we talked about this with Amanda, and I think that it's...
Like you're not making good enough work or something like that?
Yeah, well, and it's like, it could be somebody who's like the nicest person in the entire world and makes the most amazing pieces, but for some reason when you see it, you're like, I'm a failure. like it just makes me feel like shit because I'm a failure and like they're doing great and all these things, and I just unfollow those people. I just don't follow them. But if I can see their stories and not the pictures that they're posting and the sales and stuff, then I'm more apt to like them and to not unfollow them, because then I'm like seeing their lives and stuff.
Do you feel that way about people's success with sales and stuff, showing like boxes and boxes of stuff? Do you feel self-conscious about seeing people share stuff like that, or like shop update, thank you so much, we sold out in 5 minutes? Like, do other people
I guess sometimes
that way?
I guess sometimes, but but the people that usually are doing that on my stories feed, I've like seen their progression through the years, and I don't feel like I know them, but I feel like, they really deserve what they got.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, they've cultivated an audience, and they've found their...
Right.
They built the demand, and they've built the supply, and it just works, and they're...
Yeah, and so I'm like, freaking sweet, man. I'm so happy for you for selling out. Like, that's awesome,
Right.
I want everybody to succeed. I even want the people that, when I look at their profile, I'm like, I feel like a failure. I want them to succeed, too. I want them to make all the money. There's enough money in the world to go around.
Yeah.
I just sometimes can't emotionally handle it.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
Interesting. That's what I say when I'm not sure what to say. I just think
Interesting.
I think having people that are successful in your medium is only good for the medium. I don't see... Oh,
it's great.
A lot of people I just don't see as competition, because it's like, hey, we're on the internet. There's a billion people that use this platform. We're not competing against each other, people.
No, I don't think that those people that make me feel like a failure are competition by any means. Like, that's not... I don't know. I can't really describe it. It's really hard to describe. And it's like, like I said, I have no hard feelings towards them, and I want them to succeed, and I want them to be amazing. But sometimes if I see a picture of them, I'm just like, I can't handle this right now. And then I move on. But that might be why I look at stories more than regular things. And that's also why I stopped caring about my numbers as much, because that even made it worse. Is that Marble?
That's Marble. She doesn't meow that much, but... Hi, Marble.
Yeah, but I think that... And I know myself, and I know that that's not something that I can... I mean, I can try and control it. Mm-hmm. I can say no, but also I know myself, and that's kind of like the... Hi, Marble.
And you don't feed off of it. The numbers and stuff don't drive you. They don't give you a sense of accomplishment. Your accomplishment is selling things or getting a bunch of stuff made. It's not people validating that what you made was good.
Right,
necessarily.
because, well, I don't sell all my stuff on Instagram, so why should I compete with those people, you know?
Right.
Like, and because of the life, quote unquote, the Instagram life that I've chosen, there's no point in me, like, having that, you know, just, I don't know, there's no point in me, like, getting butthurt over something or like having something affect me because somebody else had a great day or a terrible day or whatever, you know?
Yeah. And Instagram is not driving a huge percentage of your sales. So,
No.
you know, you're going to put the most time and investment into the things that give you the most,
Right.
you know.
And of course, now with
throughput
the
or whatever.
COVID stuff, I am now delving into the whole internet sales, and it's really stressful.
It is.
'Cause
It's a lot of work.
That's not exactly how I pictured my future. And I'm so grateful that I have kind of built up a community, whether it be on Facebook or on Instagram. And I'm like super grateful for the support that I've gotten in the past couple of weeks just from online sales. I did not like expect that, you know? And so now, I mean, maybe my perspective will completely change. I'm totally okay with that, I guess. But
yeah.
it's
But putting in little bits at a time over years and months and stuff is going to it gives you the opportunity to be able to shift gears and actually put focus into online selling when you need to.
Yeah.
Because I think some people, if you focus all in one thing and you're all delved into online sales and that's all you do, which I see some stuff in other groups like art fair reviews and stuff with people complaining about online sales, or not online sales, but in-person sales, and worrying about, I don't think we're going to be in any shows for the rest of the year and stuff like that. Like, I hate to say, like, that's why you diversify, but that's why you diversify.
That is why you
can
diversify.
Shift your knowledge. You're continually learning. You're not learning all of your skills in one area.
Yeah.
You learn how to, have other people sell your stuff, whether it's consignment or wholesale or shows or whatever works for you, but also challenging yourself to learn something new and spread your eggs in different baskets.
Yeah, and I'm lucky. I'm very lucky that I didn't just give up on Instagram, you know? Because even though I haven't been selling online as much, it has still, like, given me a lot of relationships with people that have made the transition a little bit easier, which was good.
Yeah.
But also, like, I still kind of freak out. I'm like, they're just gonna... Sometimes I'm like, everybody that I know has already bought pottery. Like, there's not enough to go around.
I feel sometimes when I'm figuring out what to post, I'm like, I've already posted this, but it's like I've showed this process a bunch of times, or I share it in my story. Like, people know that I make this certain thing, but there's still new people out there that have followed you in the last month or year or whatever that didn't see that thing that you made and how you made it and stuff like that you can share and kind of like refresh people. I feel like because I'm so embedded in what I share that people are going to notice that I already shared this thing and I'm reusing something that I've already posted recently or semi-recently or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, share what's going to be valuable. I say share what's going to be valuable to the people that you're putting it out to. Or, like, put it out and, let people know what's going on with it and they'll get value out of, like, hey, I didn't really look at it that way, or that's nice to see how you explained that. It made sense to me or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
and being honest is really important.
Yeah, that's totally what I try to do. Honest, authentic.
You're good at that.
Try not to sugarcoat stuff.
You're very good at that.
Yeah.
I might be too good at that.
Try to be.
Yeah. I'm too unprofessional. But that's
Are you that way on Facebook?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I get my like friends being like, you probably shouldn't have said that.
You also post on Facebook that's different. You post a lot on your personal page.
No, I just
You
repost videos.
But you use your name. Like when you're typing into Clay Buddies,
Oh, yeah.
you have your name. It's not Five Lines Pottery is saying this. It's Becca Otis is saying this.
Yes.
Yeah, see, I never post anything on my personal page with my name on it usually. Unless I'm commenting on Clay Buddies. That's the only time. I like almost never share anything on my personal page.
Yeah.
For Facebook.
I'm like not really on my personal page much, but sometimes when I see funny videos, I like to post them. If it makes other people happy and smile, I'll post it. But if it's political or anything like that, fat chance.
Right.
Fat.
But I saw you're posting some stuff like asking about your van or certain questions that are...
Well, yeah, and so here's the thing, too, is that I have so many connections all around this, like, country. And Monroe is a Facebook town.
Yeah.
Monroe is a Facebook town. So, like, there's this huge Facebook group called You Had Me at Monroe, and it's, like, 10,000 people, and that's how you get your business out. Like, we have to promote our business on Facebook, or else nobody will know that it's there. Right. And so
kind of like you have to have a business on Google for some places.
Right. And I wonder if, you know, in the future if that'll change or not. But yeah. So a lot of my friends and stuff are on Facebook all the time. And so it's like, well, you know, so if I have a question, then I just put it on Facebook because there's a good chance that somebody I know will know that.
Or they know somebody that can help or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's that. I spend way too much time on Facebook and I need to spend less. COVID really hasn't helped.
Yeah.
So
I think understanding when you need to step away from it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people do like the hiatus, like I'm, you know, getting off of it for a week or whatever. I don't.
Right.
Does that help people when they get back to it, or
I don't
do
think
they
so.
just? I don't know.
Yeah, I put a time limit on my Facebook, like you put a time limit on your Instagram.
Yeah, I try to. Right now, it's flying by. It comes at like middle of the day, and I see it, and then I just don't worry about it. And
Me too.
You almost need it to where it's not. Be realistic about it. If you're averaging 2 hours on Instagram, don't set the reminder at 1 hour because that's not going to do anything. You need to like set it at an hour and 45. So it's like, hey, I'm getting close to my average. I probably should set it down.
Yeah.
And then you're going to slowly knock that number down. If you try to do too much, then it makes no difference.
My problem is that, like, I don't know, I just kind of like scroll through videos on Facebook like at midnight. And so then it counts for the next day. And so I wake up in like 20 minutes and it's like, you have reached 1 hour.
Right.
Well, that's not helpful.
Yeah.
I kind of wish you could set the days at not midnight, but it's okay.
All right. Anything else? I don't even know what the topic was.
I don't know, but I feel like it was a lot. We just talked about a lot of crap. I think the main topic was just like don't
take it too seriously and kind of like
don't base your success on how many likes you get.
Right.
Because clearly tons of people are successful without likes. And tons of people are successful with likes, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, kind of use it if you're trying to grow, use it as a way to reflect on what worked, what didn't work. Don't cater your stuff to what only works, but you know, get a little bit of insight, but don't let it drive everything you post. And then just make improvements. Like, I mean, we both improved our photography over time. Yep. You know how to take a good picture. You know what what makes a good picture. As you use the app and you scroll through people's feeds, you know what draws you in to actually like engage with something or look at it and like it or want to comment on it. So the more you consume of other people's stuff, the better you're going to get at like what works for you as a consumer, and then like what could work when you put out content.
Yeah. And on the flip side, if you feel like it's healthier for you to not care about it and to not take, like, if you have other ways of selling things, like, it's not required.
It's not required, and it's not the only way you can make
Instagram and
sales
Facebook are not required. Like,
right.
In fact, you'll probably be better off. You won't be better off, but can you imagine if you could succeed without it?
I don't know. Right now, if I didn't have Instagram or Facebook, like, would I have been selling anything the last 3 months or 2 months? I guess
it's a good point. We're in a very weird situation right now, so
yeah.
Me too, but still. All right, we should scoot.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to another episode of Wheel Talk. If you'd like to follow us on Instagram, you could find the podcast at wheeltalkpodcast, or you could find myself at RD Ceramics. That's R's in Ryan, D's in Durban, Ceramics.
Or you can find me at 5 Lines Pottery Studio. That's the number 5. And don't forget, share this with your friends, like us on Instagram, and don't forget to write a review. It helps us an awful lot. Thanks.